As we gather, may your spirit work within us. As we gather, may we glorify your name, knowing well that as our hearts begin to worship, we'll be blessed because we can. We'll be blessed because we can.
As we gather, may your spirit work within us. As we gather, may we glorify your name.
Mr. Kamande OGW is the editor of this book. He's the author. I was one of the first beneficiaries of the first book and the second book. I even have a CD of the first book. And having attended various management or other business courses in this country, I can tell you there's a lot of learning to do from this book, which was written recently. And this book does not just conform to business, does not just conform to making money, because you may think that now it is a business book, it's not about tiptoeing. It is not just money. Michael can attest to you that this book has with all the values that we encounter in our daily life, and most particularly, even spiritual, not just businesses. When we talk about a man or a person being wealthy, most of us will think that's about money. He must be having money. But the content of this book is totally different. Because if you are wealthy or you are successful, there are so many parameters or things that make a man be successful. Not just the big cars, not the big house, not the status, but there are many values that translate a person to have values. And that is what you get from this book. The chief guest, his name is Mr. Isaac Kamande. He's the Director in Planning, Minister of Mining and Petroleum. Karibu sana.
My name is Isaac Kamande. I'm a Director of Planning in the Kenya government. I have worked in about 14 ministries in the last 32 years. There is good reason as to why I mentioned that, because I came to be to OGW about 13 years ago when I was in the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And soon thereafter, I moved to the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. And it's when I was in the Ministry of Youth Affairs that Mr. OGW brought the ideas that we combined with ideas from several other places, and we designed the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. So you heard him say that there are some people he's bringing in here to confirm some things. So me, one of the reasons I was invited is to confirm that the government has used some of his ideas before he came up to documenting them in the first book that he published. So, as on behalf of the government, as I store some of the ideas from his mind, I ended up becoming the architect of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. So, we are looking at the designer of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. And for the other four, the Youth Enterprise Development Fund would still be useful in that now it has come of age and you can borrow from them as an individual. When we started, when we were getting ideas from OGW, we were going through these credit guarantee schemes where you have to tell people to form a group so that you can test their credit worthiness by allowing them to go for installations of some loans, after which then you can graduate into an individual loan. So now the Youth Fund has launched its lesson, and you can easily, as a young person, access an individual loan. We have run through the country that actually there is there is no group, there is no viable, there is no economically viable group, but there can only be viable ideas. So that is why we are graduating from group rating to individualized rating. So if you are associated with young people, I advise them that they can still go to the youth fund or use the ideas of the youth fund to access funding to start businesses and finance. So we also had him selling the book, also selling admin ideas. So now, living beyond survival. I start with the observation that Kenyans are candidates to that publication. It should be a must read for Kenyans. Why should it be a must read for Kenyans? Because Kenyans have not started living beyond survival. We are in the survival age. So you will find majority of Kenyans saying that they are hustlers. You cannot be hustling and you are living beyond survival. So a hustler is somebody who lives from hand to mouth. You earn for the day, you're lucky if you get money that will be enough for you to be arrived tomorrow. So that cannot be living beyond survival. And I think it's a paper that now Mr. OGW has published, living beyond survival, so that we can start learning what is that living beyond survival. Because majority of us are living on the bare minimum, so to speak. And that is best manifested by the unemployment rate. We have a youth unemployment rate in excess of 40%. And that is a very big rate, given that we're supposed to aim at having an unemployment rate of less than 5% of the population. So it's very serious that youth unemployment is about 40%. And even those who are employed, mostly in the informal sector, they are barely surviving. So we are good candidates and we should strive to distribute that publication as much as possible. Of course, Mr. Akibu had told me that he had approached the education authorities so that they can be brought into the Orange Book. The Orange Book is where we list the recommended text that the children should be required to read, to be passing exams and also to read knowledge. But he has just alluded to the fact that the Ministry of Education is borrowing some of the ideas from his book, the first one, and they are finding themselves into the curriculum. Now, writers make whatever is written by writers, the production of knowledge becomes public property. Although we abide that publication, most of the information that is contained there will be preached, will be disseminated as free knowledge. So that is a cost that all others writers have. Even when they are denying their families the enjoyment of being together, you have had some testing of them. The majority Kenyans, not anybody who will be affected by that knowledge is able to benefit positively. So your mind is public property. We can be giving you, we can be issuing mukono by buying, but most credit in your mind is public property. And those of us who work in the government also know that whatever we do belongs to the public. And the government pays some money, but mostly we give out more than the public is paying for. So, in Kenya, people don't read. People do not read. And those in school, they read to pass exams. Those out of school, they read newspapers just to be in the know. So, and that is a very big part, because that is what makes us remain below living beyond survival. That is why we are always survivors. Because we have so little knowledge that you cannot use that knowledge to benefit privately and extend that to benefit others. And I don't think there is anything in the world that can go beyond the written word. The written word is the best communicator and transferee of knowledge. So, for example, Africa is growing very fast these days. And the African Development Bank has coined a descriptor for Africa's middle class. Africa's middle class is being described by the African Development Bank as a floating middle class. In Kenya, we have about 8 million Kenyans who are in that floating middle class. Why are they floating? Because they can easily come back to the surviving class. If you look at health, if you are struck by a disease in your family, even when you are middle class, you are able to go down immediately so as to take care of the person who has fallen ill. It's because we are so vulnerable. That is why the middle class that is associated, the middle class in Africa is branded as floating middle class. So we are unfortunate that we are building up some middle class that runs the risk of going down so easily. What we need to do is actually to increase the level of what is called cultural literacy. Cultural literacy is the amount of knowledge that is generally held by an average person. And that average person should actually represent the country. For example, in this country, when Wajiko is mentioned, almost anybody in this country knows what is being spoken about. You are talking about an ordinary person. So that is cultural literacy. But if you went to Uganda, you say Wajiko, they may associate Wajiko with their name. It's also a name in Kenya, but it means something else. So we need to release the level of cultural literacy so that people have some general knowledge that can guarantee their survival and support their travel towards middle income. That is why in this country we are hoping that we should bring that and actually deliver a middle class. Because it's only when we have a big middle class that it's possible for the country to be sustainable. For example, you can see the badge I'm wearing. This badge that I'm wearing is the symbol of the World Agenda 2030. So the world in 2030 wants to do away with poverty. So this symbolism of us doing away with poverty during our lifetime is something that the world is craving to. But if I ask around here whether people know about Agenda 2030, which is expressed in 17 Sustainable Development Goals, chances are people don't know. And yet, you are supposed to contribute towards the achievement of Agenda 2030. So when you read this book, don't even try to read all the 17, because again you will forget them. But I would urge you to look at SDG number 11. SDG number 11 is Sustainable Cities and Communities. We are expecting that by 2050, 50% of Kenyans will be in urban areas. So we have to understand how to live in an urban setting. Because as it is now, we are still living as if we are half rural and half urban. Because some of you are likely to be having chicken in your compound. Some of you are likely. You'll find that some of our leaders even have pigs. But you know, pigs are very obnoxious. They produce obnoxious smell. So it's because we have not regulated thinking living in urban areas. In urban areas, we don't stay in the same compound with animals. So animals, you hear them far away. So this cultural literacy can only be enhanced if you are interested in the literature that is around you. And we have patriots in the name of our Jobi. They are publishing for us. And we are paying them very little for doing that. And we can use that power to advance our cause. So, you look at people say, is writing, is authorship a talent, or can you make a writing? So that is another question that we need to answer for yourself. Because again, we also told that in art of writing, no answer is wrong. So if you believe that writing is talent, let it be. If you believe that you can make an author, let it be. But let's try to do the least that we are expected to do. What has been published. Why don't you just read? Because you are likely even to be better off than the writer. Because the writer is spending too much time thinking of what you read. And all you have to do is to read. So it's talent. You can make writing. Majority of us who may not be having the talent could actually stay for a very long time in the preliminaries. Because of my experiences in government, I've been planning to write a biography, an autobiography. And about 5 years ago, I wrote the table of contents. Now, 3 years ago, I wrote the back cover. And there is something right. Isaac Kamande is the son of a peasant, grew up in the rural areas of Nairobi, of Murang'a, and so on and so forth. You see, it's a very easy thing to write about yourself. Very bad. Now, I'm supposed to get into the content. You see, now I have the table of contents, and then my wife and another friend of mine, they don't agree with the title. Because the title is what it is. So, no, the title is Kenya's Policy Implementation Dilemma, the career that never was. So, my wife and my friend, they don't like the second part. So, we are still hungry, and you see, I'm taking the advantage of being lazy around, not writing the biography. Now, I'm convincing myself that when I die in another 2 years, I'll have so much time that now I have to write that biography. So you can see the difficulties that those people who have to write not out of talent, but out of being made go through. So I wanted to mention that. I see that the first thing was I had to confirm that the government actually used some ideas of a private citizen to advance the cause of all people. And secondly, the points that I have brought out. So I think that it's a paper. What we do is doing it by documenting what is in his mind. And ours is to utilize what he produces. And I think we can ask God to continue giving us, favoring us through him so that he can continue writing. So I wish you the best in that book. This man brought the current publication to my office about 3 days ago, so I have not left it other than the preliminary. And then somebody else grabbed it yesterday and she has read about the first chapter. So I wish you the best and God bless you. Now.
If I could have one desire before my life is through, even in my darkest night, my light would shine for you. If I could stop the hands of time or make a wish come true, I would tell my heart
to burn with fire for no one else but you. This is my one desire. You are my saving grace, anchor of my soul. And in a world that's turned upside down,